A Memphis police officer has been given a one-day suspension, 1 day, because he delayed a man from getting his dying mother to the hospital. Officer Micah McNinch pulled over the driver for having expired tags. The driver explained his 83-year-old mother in the car was gasping for breath. They were headed for the hospital. Well, instead of escorting them to the hospital, the officer called for an ambulance, and it didn't arrive for 11 minutes. The man's mom died a short time later at the hospital.
My mom not having the least ability to make it to the hospital, and I have to deal with the image of my mom dying basically in the back seat of my car.
Joining me on the phone now is Clay Bailey, who's a reporter for the Memphis newspaper, The Commercial Appeal. I mean, a one-day suspension for that. How's the community reacting?
Well, most of the people who have gone to our website and left comments seem real upset over the fact that it's 1 day versus this woman's life. On the other side, the sheriff's department said that basically the violation of the policy was a judgment call, and it didn't call for any more than the 1 day as far as the disciplinary action. You know,
we just have been covering a story, Clay, a couple weeks ago about this NFL player in Texas who wanted to go in and see his dying mother-in-law, and the officer detained him in the hospital parking lot, and he didn't make it up in time. Just curious what the sheriff says about the lack of common sense or common courtesy when obviously life is hanging in the balance.
Well, Sheriff Luttrell acknowledged that, you know, there was a bad decision here. It was bad judgment on his part particularly not to listen to what the man was dealing with. He did call an ambulance, which was Mr. Abel's first request. Then Mr. Abels asked him if he could follow him to the hospital, which is less than a mile away. He could see the hospital from where they were stopped. And the sheriff says it was just bad judgment on this officer's part to stop him for this. And
yeah, so the question is, why would you want a sheriff's deputy who carries weapons and who shows such poor judgment, why would you want someone like that serving on your force? Is there an explanation for that?
The sheriff said that so far through the 3 or 4 years this officer had been with the department, he had not had any other disciplinary action. He's got a clear record. I think when talking to the sheriff the other day, he said basically he hopes this is a learning experience for him, and the previous good job performance he's had would continue, and this would be a learning experience for him.
All right, Clay, well, thanks for breaking it down for us. We appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.